talking Giannis Antetokounmpo today because over the weekend he had a lot to say on Twitter, one of them being this. When asked about what cities that made him the happiest, he answered Florida cities. So does that mean that Giannis likes Miami? Is this a troll job? I don't know. If you were unfamiliar with what happened over the weekend, well, Giannis Antetokounmpo was feeling, I guess, good because he went on about a 12-hour Twitter Q&A where he was answering questions from his followers, fans, everything in between, answering a bunch of questions about his personal life, his favorite sports teams, his favorite cities. Obviously, you saw there. He was also asked where his favorite road city is, and he responded New York. So, listen, as much and as fun as it would be to theorize about Giannis wanting to be a member of the Miami Heat because he loves the city of Miami, I truly believe this is just a Giannis troll job because he answered what cities makes him the most happy. He said Florida cities. He answers his favorite road city. He answers New York. So I just think he knows what he's doing at this point and is just having fun with NBA fans. But on today's show, we are going to look at what a Giannis trade would look like, a rumor that Giannis doesn't want to come to Miami and everything in between, but it is one of a legend's birthday here at the Heat family. Mario Chalmers, number 15, Rio. It's his birthday, NBA champion with Miami. Spam 15 to wish Rio a happy birthday down in the comment section. All right, when we actually talk about a real Giannis Antetokounmpo update, there is an NBA reporter that said the Heat are going to be targeting a Giannis trade this offseason, but also mentioned that Antetokounmpo would not want to play in Miami. That reporter, Scoop B. Robinson, who had an article over the weekend about Giannis, but also had something to say about Bam Adebayo on Monday afternoon, which we'll probably talk about later in the week. But Scoop B said that Pat Riley and the Heat organization have explored scenarios where the two-time MVP could be pried away from Milwaukee, but the twist is that Giannis Antetokounmpo isn't feeling Pat Riley and might be a bigger hurdle than Miami expected, to where Giannis might not want to be in the Heat locker room, part of Heat culture. And if he does not want to be a member of the Miami Heat, well, then there's absolutely no chance that the Heat trade for him. But my reaction to this little quote, it's twofold here, because I'm not sold that it's 100% accurate that Scoop knows what Giannis is feeling and what he does like and what doesn't like about other NBA organizations and teams. But I do want to give Scoop credit. Like, he does get scoops, pun intended, around the NBA. He spoke with Bam Adebayo. So he has ties. He has sources in the NBA. I'm just not sure that him saying that Giannis wouldn't want to play for Miami and isn't feeling Pat Riley is 100% accurate. Now, with that being said, I do think Miami has no chance with a Giannis trade. And I've been saying that for quite a while now. As much as it would be fun to theorize and kind of get our hopes up about an Antetokounmpo trade and how it would bring us right back to the Eastern Conference title contenders and NBA Finals contenders, if we're going to be honest. I just don't see it happening. There are just so many other teams that make more sense for Antetokounmpo and can offer Miami way out of the building where, like, it wouldn't even be competitive. You look at four of the teams that I will consider the most likely outcome: the Brooklyn Nets, the San Antonio Spurs, Houston Rockets, and Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, they all have double the amount of picks that Miami can offer. They have better younger players that can be offered. Like, I don't think anyone could offer a player as good as Bam Adebayo potentially out of these four, but are the Heat offering Bam? Probably not. Like, so if you're Milwaukee, I would rather have maybe 9 first-round picks from Brooklyn, Castle and Vassell and picks from San Antonio, Alperen Şengün and picks from Houston, and like Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren from Oklahoma City. And like, not to be mentioned, there was an interesting idea thrown out there for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have to make a decision on paying Evan Mobley the Supermax or not. Could the Cavs just trade Mobley and a pick for Giannis to pair him up and upgrade from Mobley and the now to help Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland? Like, it's interesting. But the point of this conversation is that the Heat are getting outbid. The Miami Heat would have to send an unbelievable offer to the Milwaukee Bucks to even have the Bucks interested unless Giannis demands Miami and only Miami, which I don't see that ever actually happening. So it is going to be tough for the Heat to get Antetokounmpo. I'll talk about what a package, if the Heat wanted to get their name in the ring, could even look like and if it's worth it for Miami at that point. But I do got to show some love to our sponsor, and that is Prize Picks, the daily fantasy sports platform I play every single day. And the basketball playoffs are almost over. We got conference finals and the finals coming up here in a second. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup, whether it's points, rebounds, assists. Take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Turn your hot takes into basketball's championship series tickets. Starting with this entire playoffs, you could enter into the Takes the Ticket sweepstakes, which could get you and a +1, a VIP trip to the ship. They've got specials on Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday, so many different ways to play. You can play daily, you can play season long, you can play series long. How about that? I've got an entry for the Knicks-Pacers series, more than Miles Turner points per game, more than Halliburton assists per game, and less than Karl-Anthony Towns rebounds per game. A 3-player entry here to win 5 times my money, but you can create a lineup to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Join me and the millions of others over on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Link is in the description and comments of today's video. Let's transition over to what a package would look like. And if you watched a video that we put out on the channel a couple weeks ago, and if you didn't, make sure you subscribe for daily content. But I went through 3 Giannis trade ideas. One that included Bam, one that included Tyler Herro, and then one where you tried to avoid trading Bam and Herro, so you pair Giannis up with your 2 building blocks on the roster. Well, after reading more tea leaves, seeing what's been put out there, I believe that if the Heat wanted to acquire Giannis, one, the only way Antetokounmpo would want to be on the Heat's roster is if he played with Bam, because he respects Bam, he knows how good he is, and I think that would be the main drawing point for him to come to Miami. So you're keeping Adebayo. And I don't think Miami could even throw their hat in the ring seriousness enough if you didn't include Tyler Herro, who is your best trade asset outside of Bam, because he's 25 years old, averaged 24 this season, and was a first-time All-Star. Well, I think you'd also have to offer other young pieces. Like, they would ask for Kel'el Ware. They would ask for Nikola Jovic. Andrew Wiggins would help you get their salary rise as well. And I don't think the Bucks would want Terry Rozier, so you have to include Wiggins' salary. Now, you would be able to bring Pat Connaughton back, but the part that's so fascinating is that the first-round picks I think you'd have to offer alongside Tyler. I still think you'd have to offer 2 first-rounders plus swaps. Now, maybe in this deal, you're offering your 2030 pick, your 2032 pick, and then 3 swaps in 26, 28, 29, kind of something similar to that, or 29, 31 in between those swaps. I think that's what it's going to take. Like, I know people might look at that trade and say that's not enough, but unfortunately, with how good Giannis is, a top 3 player in the world, still just 30 years old, like, if you want to pry him away from the Bucks, you have to come in with a strong offer, better than some other teams. Like, you're going to get outbid picks-wise from the Thunder, from the Rockets, from the Spurs, from the Nets. But you're going to have to combat that by sending in some better younger players. So I think that's what a trade would ultimately look like for Antetokounmpo. And I got to be honest, like, at that point, like, is it even worth it? I mean, that's a question that has to be asked if you are trading Ware, Jovic, Wiggins, Herro, and picks, because your roster outside of Bam and Giannis, like, there's major question marks there. Like, yeah, you have some players in, like, Kel'el Larson, Jaime Jaquez Jr., but is it a team that can win a championship? No, like, probably not. Like, Giannis is otherworldly. Like, there's no debating that. This guy is either the second or third best player in the world. I think it still goes Jokic, and then you could have your pick of SGA or Giannis at the 2-3. If SGA wins the title, maybe he is cemented at number 2 at this point. But, like, yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a generational, once-in-a-type of lifetime guy that you could potentially add to your roster. Like, as I continue to mention, where is your backcourt at this point? Like, how are you going to build a competent enough roster around Giannis and Bam at the 4-5? And yeah, that duo would guarantee you a spot probably in the top 5 of the Eastern Conference. But in order to win a title, what pieces are you surrounding them with to get there? Because you're going to need an on-ball guard that can create for them. You're going to need some shooters, and Pat Connaughton, Duncan Robinson still be on the roster. Like, yeah, you could maybe flip Andrew Wiggins, or excuse me, Terry Rozier to help get pieces around them, but it would just become incredibly more difficult. Like, to me, there's no reason to acquire Giannis unless you are adding him alongside Tyler Herro and Bam. But at that point, I don't think you could even acquire him via trade because it won't be enough of an offer. It's just so tough to balance getting him and also making sure your team is still good enough to win alongside him. But make the call for me before we sign off on today's show. Should the Heat trade for Giannis? If I told you that package that I just put on screen would ultimately land Giannis in Miami, should the Heat even do it? Type Y for yes or type N for no. I think your answer has to really depend on how you answer this question. Are you trying to win in the next 2 to 3 seasons, or are you trying to win for the next 5 to 7 years? And I'll answer it this. If you're trying to win in the next 3 years, Pat Riley's 80 years old, you want to get him a ring before he potentially retires, then you do not make that trade. Yeah, you do not. Because I don't think you're going to be able to win a championship this upcoming season if you make that deal, because you just need to build more players around Bam and Giannis. But if you want to win a title in the next 5 to 7 years, well, yeah, you pair up Giannis at age 30, Bam at 27, 28, you're going to have a really good chance to build out a better roster. And by the time they get into their early 30s, mid 30s, well, then you probably have a competent team around them. Like, if you're trying to win now, I actually think it would be more likely that he'd actually make a Kevin Durant trade, and he will be the most likely outcome for the Heat's offseason as we continue to progress here towards the actual offseason where teams are done playing in the postseason. Kevin Durant is someone the Heat have always wanted to acquire. You can get him without sending Herro or Bam. I think you would be able to keep Kel'el Ware, if we're going to be honest, as well. I think it's most likely going to be like a Wiggins, Duncan, Jovic, and some picks type of haul for the Suns. And if you do that, you still have the pathway to upgrade around Herro, KD, and Bam, but also build a roster around them to win. Like, I think KD is the most likely trade, I guess, player that you can make a seismic change to the roster and it actually come to fruition this offseason. It's going to be really interesting to see how this offseason unfolds. It's going to be very, very busy, and that's why you subscribe, because we are going to have daily content here at the channel on trade rumors, draft rumors, news, free agency, everything you could possibly want around the Miami Heat we have here on the channel, so subscribe today.